Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. I'm Vaishali Khan and we are discussing the science and technology. Today in this video we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, that is the synthetic fibers and plastic. Right, so many questions are coming these days in the various exams on this topic, and we are going to have the in-depth analysis of this topic. Right, we are going to see some of the topics or some of the key terms from where the questions can be directly asked. Right, so we are going to start our discussion with the synthetic fibers. We all know what is a natural fiber, right? We all know about silk, we all know about cotton, we all know about wool. So these are the fibers which are having natural origin. Now the synthetic fibers, as the name suggests, they are having the man-made origin, right? Humans are making them. Synthetic fibers are man-made, right? We are not using any natural substance. Like wool is made with the help of the animal, right? The animal hair is used to make the wool, and similarly we will be having the silkworms which are used to make the silk. Their saliva is used to make the silk, right? So these are the natural fibers because we are not making it on our own. We are having the natural things, natural animals or plants which are contributing in the manufacturing of the fibers. Now synthetic are the man-made, we are making it. And how we are making the synthetic fiber? Synthetic fiber is generally a polymer. Polymer can be synthetic, it can be natural as well. I will be giving you an example of natural polymer as well. Now it is a chain of small units, right? So always and always polymer is a chain of small units. Like you can make your necklace with used of very small beads, right? So it's a chain of small beads which is making the necklace. Similarly, we have the chain of small units which are joined to form the single unit, and the single unit is known as the polymer. So single unit is a larger unit, and whereas the smaller units are the chemical substances which our humans are making, and these are going to make the polymer. Now we have a natural polymer as well, which is cellulose. Right, so cellulose is made up of the small units of glucose. Right, so this is a natural polymer. Right, so now coming to the synthetic polymers. What are the different types of the synthetic polymer or the different types of synthetic fibers? First of all, we have rayon. We all know the silk was discovered by China, and its method of manufacturing was remained a secret for a long time, and only China was sending it to the various parts of the world with a higher cost associated with it, and China was making a good profit in it. But very soon scientists discovered a method to obtain a chemical treatment of the wood by which we can get a similar product like the silk, right? And it is also known as artificial silk or rayon, right? And rayon can be used for many purposes. It can be used for the manufacturing of the clothes or the manufacturing of the curtains and many other daily uses as well, right? So it is having the same structure like the silk, but it is man-made and it is artificial. Without the silkworm we can make the artificial silk, and we can even color it in many different colors as well. Now coming to the nylon. Nylon is the next type of synthetic fiber which was discovered in 1931, and it is actually a perfectly synthetic fiber because it was made from the wood, but here it is prepared from coal, water and air, right? So this is a perfectly synthetic material, and it is strong, elastic and light, and due to which it is used in many properties. Like it is used in many practical applications like making of socks, making of belts and car belts, car covers, and the tents, parachutes, the ropes. So a lot of practical applications are there for the nylon. It is weightless, it is not very heavy, and due to which it is dried very easily. So these are the various properties of the nylon, and due to which it is very much applicable in our daily lives, right? We are using it in our daily lives, and I can say the nylon thread is even stronger than the steel wires, and we can use it in very tough rope formation as well, so we can make the ropes with it. And now coming to the next type of synthetic fiber, that is the polyester and acrylic. So polyester is a material which is made for formation of the clothes, but these clothes have a special property that they will be wrinkleless, so which is the thing that we want in our daily life. We don't want much of wrinkles like we have on cotton, so it is wrinkleless. And some of the example of polyester are terylene and PET. So terylene is used to manufacture the clothes, and PET is used to manufacture the plastic type of bottles, right? You must have seen a bottle of PET material, right? So PET is polyethylene terephthalate, right? So now coming to the acrylic, like we have wool which is made from the animals, the acrylic is a synthetic wool which is having the much better properties than the natural wool. What are the better properties? It can dry easily, it is long lasting, it is durable, and it cannot be damaged easily, and it is cheap, obviously, because we are making it by synthetic medium, so it is not manufactured from the animal hair, so it is cheap as well. And one more property is that they melt very easily on heating, so it is avoided to go into the kitchen or to go at a high temperature area while wearing the synthetic clothes, because they might melt and they can stick to your skin, right? So we are having some other type of polyesters, like we have polycot, we have polywool, we have terrycot as well. So what is polycot? As the name suggests, it's the combination of polyester plus cotton, which is the polycot. It is also having varied application. Then we have polywool. Polywool is the combination of polyester as well as wool. Now we find these type of material every day in our daily lives, right? So now coming to the plastic, which is again the need of our daily lives, right? We are dependent upon plastic a lot. So plastic is again a polymer. Polymer, I hope you understood. It's a long chain which contains some smaller units, right? So the polymer can be a linear arrangement, like we can have the small units which are arranged linearly, or we can have the cross-linked arrangement. In the cross-linked arrangement, we have the 2D arrangement, right? So this is the cross-linked arrangement that we have, right? So now I hope you understood the two types of arrangements that we have for the plastic. Now, what are the various properties of the plastic due to which it is extensively used in our daily lives? It is easily moldable. We can mold it into any shape, any form. It is recycled very easily, and we can make it into a very different form, right? We can use it in a very different form as well. It can be reused as well, and can be colored as well. These are the various properties, and a very best example of the plastic is polythene, which we are using in our daily lives. These are used as a carry bags. Now we have two types of plastics, thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. Thermoplastic, it is going to get deformed on heating. When you are going to give high temperature to the thermoplastic, it is going to get deformed, like we have polythene and PVC. If you are going to give high temperature to the polythene bags, it is going to get deformed, right? Now we have the thermosetting plastic. It is not going to soften by the heating, like we have bakelite, which is going to be used in the electric switches, right? We have melamine. Melamine is also finding various uses in the daily lives as well, like it is used in the formation of the buckets, right? Various plastic utensils which we are finding use in our daily lives, and we can make the utensil handles also with the help of melamine, because it is heat resistant, right? Now coming to the various other properties of the plastic due to which it is our favorite material these days, right? So it is lightweight, so it is not very heavy, right? Now the lower price, the plastic polythenes, if you see, it is very cheap. It is having good strength. You can carry a lot of weight in the plastic polythene bags as well, and it is having easily handling, and these are non-reactive. They can be used as a substitute for the materials, like we have metals which can get rusted like iron can get rusted, copper can get rusted, but plastic is non-reactive to air and water, so it can be used for a longer duration of time without getting rusted or without getting damaged by air or water. It is having poor conductivity towards heat and electricity. Again, this property is finding a lot of daily applications in our lives, right? It is non-biodegradable. So this is the only disadvantage that we have with the plastic, and due to which we are finding out various methods to recycle it, to reduce the use of it, to reuse it, to recover it, and to refuse it. We have to even refuse it, and you can carry your jute bags and your cotton bags to the market, and you can avoid using the polythene because these are non-biodegradable. They can be accumulated in the environment for a longer period of time. The biodegradable materials are going to get decomposed with the help of the various insects or microorganisms, but these are remained as it is in the nature, and they are going to pollute our environment. Then we have some special type of plastic, like we have Teflon, which is used as a coating for the non-stick utensils, right? So then we have the melamine plastic, which is used as a plastic which can be used for the fire resistant clothing, right? So if a fire extinguisher person is coming, so he will be wearing the cloth of melamine plastic, which will be saving him from the heat of the fires that we have, right? So I hope you understood each and everything that we discussed in today's video. I hope you liked it. If you like it, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and also give me your feedback. Thank you so much.